So it's August 21st, 2025. And man, India is really at a crossroads. You've got these huge global powers putting on a ton of pressure from the outside. And then, at home, things are just as intense. We're talking sweeping new laws, big political shakeups, and security crises that are grabbing headlines. So let's dive in and really unpack what all this means for India, both on the world stage and right here at home. Okay, let's just start with this. Wow. Silence will only embolden the bully. This isn't some quiet note passed between diplomats. This is a public statement from the Chinese envoy to India, and they're not being subtle. They're calling the United States a bully over its tariff plans. You gotta understand, this is a calculated shot across the bow, designed to wedge India away from the West. So what's at the core of all this friction? Well, it's a massive trade showdown. You've got the US on one side, threatening to hit India with a staggering 50% tariff on its goods. And the reason? India's trade relationship with Russia. But on the other side, you have India's External Affairs Minister, S. Jaishankar, publicly pushing back and saying, hold on a minute, the whole premise you're using? It's not even true. We are not the largest buyer of Russian oil. It's a direct clapback to the American narrative. All right, so this all brings us to our first section, India's Global Balancing Act. And believe me, it is a high-stakes, high-wire act, navigating a diplomatic rift between the world's biggest powers. So let's break this down, because it's like a three-way chess match. First, you've got the U.S. flexing its economic muscle with these tariff threats. Then you have India firing back with the facts. And who's watching all this? China. They see the friction and immediately step in with supportive statements, trying to look like the more dependable friend. And get this, it's not even a united front in the U.S. You've got figures like Nikki Haley warning that pushing India away would be a strategic disaster for America. Okay, so now let's pivot. Section 2, big changes at home. Because, all this pressure from the outside, it's having a huge impact on what's happening inside the country and how major domestic policies are getting shaped.
And boy, one of the biggest changes is this new law, the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Bill 2025. Look, this isn't just some minor adjustment. This is a complete ban on any online game where real money is involved. It's a massive move that's going to totally shake up a huge and very popular industry.
And the fallout from this? It's going to be huge. We're talking about a 100% ban for any platform that uses real money. Think about it. All those fantasy sports apps, all those online card games, they are now facing a total shutdown. They either have to completely reinvent their business model or they're gone. At the same time, the government is looking to make some major changes to the tax system. A top-level group is pushing for a big simplification of the GST. Basically, the plan is to just get rid of two of the main tax brackets, the 12% one and the 28% one. If this goes through, it would be a really big deal for streamlining how taxes work in the country. And then we've got this major shakeup right in the capital. The Delhi police commissioner has been removed. And let's be clear, this is happening for one big reason. That recent attack on Delhi's chief minister, Rekha Gupta. It was a massive security lapse, and now heads are rolling. Okay, let's move on to our next section. Crime, chaos, and justice. Because all this high-level stuff, all the politics and policies, it doesn't just exist in a bubble. It creates a certain kind of tension, and you start to see the cracks appear in these very human stories making headlines across the nation. And what a story to start with. An international manhunt just came to a dramatic end right here in India. So this woman, Cindy Singh, one of the FBI's most wanted, has been on the run since 2022. She was wanted for the murder of her own 6-year-old son back in Texas. And now, thanks to a joint effort with Interpol, she's been caught. She's being sent back to the U.S. to face capital murder charges. Just wow. At the same time, we're getting another scary reminder of how vulnerable public figures can be. The Punjabi singer Mankirt Aulakh got this message on WhatsApp. Get ready, son, your time has come. I mean, that is just chilling. And the police are taking it incredibly seriously, especially since this isn't the first time he's been threatened. And remember that attack on the chief minister we just talked about? Well, the story just got weirder. A lot weirder. The guy who did it claims his motive was, wait for it, the lives of 3 lakh dogs. I'm not kidding. It's such a bizarre reason that police are now tearing through his phone, trying to figure out what's really going on. So with all of this going on, geopolitical pressure, domestic shakeups, social chaos, it all leads to the big question. Section 4, what comes next? A glimpse into the future amidst all this turmoil. But amidst all this talk of tension with the U.S. government, you get a really powerful signal pointing in the other direction.
Apple, yeah, that Apple, has just announced they're opening their very first store in Bengaluru. Apple Hebbal is set to open early next month. It's a huge sign that even with all the political noise, global business still sees a massive future in India. All right, so let's just do a quick recap of this absolutely packed day. You've got a new bill that could wipe out the online gaming industry as we know it. You've got a huge police shakeup in the capital. A high-profile fugitive is finally caught and extradited. And all of this is happening against the backdrop of this intense international drama. I mean, India is being pulled in so many different directions all at once. And all of that leaves us with one final, really important question. When you look at everything from today, you can really see two possible futures for India. One path is to turn inward, deal with trade wars, tighten domestic rules. But the other path, the one symbolized by that new Apple store, is about opening up even more to the world. So as all these pressures keep building, which way will India go?